stars of monster truck racing battling for the World Championship on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Here's the truck that leads the points chase for the world title. The equalizer, Greg Holbrook, on the right of your screen. He's out of Springfield, Tennessee, taking on the only Dodge on the tour, Gary Wiggins Mopar Magic. He's out of Williamson, North Carolina. Mopar only has two-wheel drive, and you cannot expect to knock off the equalizer unless you're at 120%. And a crippled Mopar, no match for the powerful equalizer. Holbrook recording an easy victory as he'll move into the quarterfinal round of competition. Again, Holbrook, smooth as silk on this track at Lebanon Valley Speedway. There you see Greg. He's working his way over to Army Armstrong after a victory over Mopar Magic. Let's go down to Army and hear what Greg's got to say.
Greg, an 8.16, and it looked quick, but we got two guys that are already running under that 8-second bracket.
Yeah, they've been running real fast, and I could take it easy at time. Gary didn't have but just two-wheel drive. He ripped the front drive shaft out in qualifying, so I took it a little easy that time.
So everything is go? I mean, you're just kind of backpedaling right now?
Yeah, we're just taking it easy on the truck and waiting until we have to get on it before we do.
Chris Chapman has worked her way over to Gary Wiggins, a very likable fellow out of North Carolina who's having some problems tonight. Only had two-wheel drive.
Gary, I believe you needed four-wheel drive to go up against that world champion truck.
Oh, yeah. Of all things, you know I got to get the wrong truck. And it was too hard on the truck that way. So I needed a four-wheel drive bad.
How did it feel, though, going out there in two-wheel drive? Run looked pretty good.
Well, it felt good, but not at the hold. It felt like I was just sitting there in the hold. So not good at all.
The Outlaw, Mike Wine, the Super Winch sponsored ride out of Pennsauken, New Jersey, will take on Pony Express, one of the more interesting looking creatures on the circuit, especially now with a lot of sheet metal having to be stripped away to get that thing ready to race. Anthony Portier drives Pony Express out of Bloomfield, New Jersey, but it's all Outlaw and Mike Wine. Look at the bounce. Wine is in trouble at the end of the run. Mike Wine, oh, he keeps it on all four wheels. What a phenomenal piece of driving by Mike Wine, who steers the Outlaw out of big-time trouble at the end of the course. I cannot wait to see this replay again. Outlaw wins it easily over Pony Express, but watch the trouble Mike Wine gets into at the end of the run. A lot of air, and then a high bounce. Now Wine is like riding a bucking bronco, trying to get her straightened out. It gets up on two wheels, but the key, Mike Wine stays in the throttle and powers out. A masterful job of saving a truck that looked like it was headed onto its roof. One more time with Mike Wine saving the Outlaw from disaster at Lebanon Valley Speedway. Army Armstrong is caught up with Mike Wine.
You seem to be attacking the track right now. We haven't seen this in you. Is it because you're getting new confidence in you, as yourself as a driver, and the engine combination?
A little bit of both. I'm finally getting used to the truck. Plus, I called home. I talked to the owner, Nick Rossi, at Triangle Springs in Pennsauken. We just picked up a new sponsorship. It's Super Winch out of Connecticut. They just pumped in $25,000 into us for this brand new motor. I feel like I have to prove something to those people. They were kind enough to give us the money for this. I'm going to do my best for those people if I can. Super Winch out of Connecticut.
Tell you what, you impressed a whole lot of people. Lebanon Valley, we'll see you in the next round.
Thank you, Army.
The quarterfinal round highlights on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge are just around the corner here on ESPN. To the TNT Monster Truck Challenge from Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York. We are ready for quarterfinal round competition as Steve Wilkie stares intently through the mask inside of USA 1. He'll take on his old nemesis, the Carolina Crusher, as they renew the rivalry in two of the best-known Chevrolets. Out of Minnesota, Wilkie. Everett Jasper built the USA 1 truck to win the '88 World Championship. Gary Porter runs his own show out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, and he drives the Carolina Crusher. He drove it to the runner-up spot in the World Championship points race behind Equalizer a year ago. So these are two of the most storied and successful trucks in monster truck racing. They go head-to-head. A dandy finish as Carolina Crusher ekes out USA won, and you can credit that victory to a superb start by Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. We're going to go to a replay, and I want you to watch the start. It looked like Porter got out of there just a little bit ahead. He ends up crossing the first set of cars a little bit ahead. USA 1 makes up ground on the second set, but he could not overcome a better start for the Carolina Crusher, and Gary Porter gets the victory over USA 1. Again, the replay, and again, you can see the win is attributed to a great start by Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. Here's Army Armstrong.
Gary Porter took a whole shot on the starting line, but you had to drive it out the back door on this track, didn't you?
I did. I knew USA 1, he was going to be pushing his as hard as he could, and I was going to have to push mine as hard as it would run. And I just lined up real far to the right side on that first set of cars and tried to miss all the holes and, you know, in the cars and just hold on.
Well, let's leave the track and go down pit road where Chris Chapman has caught up with Steve Wilkie. Chris?
Steve, it did look like you got a little crooked, a little sideways off that first set of cars. Maybe that was what was the difference.
Yeah, I lined up a little different down on the bottom side here, and when I did that, I hammered the throttle, and the chunk moved on the starting line like that, so I hit the actually hit the stack crooked.
Looked like you were also a little out of control there at the end.
No, never.
Steve Wilkie out of control. Come on now. The Auto Value King Crunch, Scott Stevens out of Woodlands, Texas, will challenge the reigning champion of the sport, the Equalizer Chevrolet, and Greg Holbrook out of Springfield, Tennessee. Isn't this a weird set of circumstances? Bigfoot, the arch rival of King Crunch, who's been involved in a war of words with Scott Stevens all year. Bigfoot, the entire camp has to be cheering for Scott Stevens and hoping that Stevens can knock off the Equalizer here. Boy, this racing does make strange bedfellows, just like politics. Showtime! Thank you note from the Bigfoot camp down to Texas as the Auto Value King Crunch has upset the Equalizer, and Scott Stevens records a huge upset victory. A big victory for Stevens, but also for Bigfoot, because Bigfoot has a chance to gain points. The TNT Monster Truck Challenge World Championship standings. There you see it. The win to the Auto Value King Crunch. Scott Stevens knocks off Equalizer. Let's get a look at him from our end zone camera. A great start, but Stevens stays nice, straight as an arrow, and man, did he pull the trigger on that second set of cars.
Scott, a sub 8-second run, but that's what it's taken to get through this thing tonight against one of the baddest boys in the sport.
Yeah, you know, probably a year ago you could have known who was going to win one of these races. Now, you know, there's so many guys that get tougher every round. The Outlaws, boy, you know, some of the quickest runs tonight. Kevin Ford, you know, he got me down the track that time. I kind of made a few mistakes earlier. He went out there and figured out where we need to put the truck. We staged it there. It worked. Kind of slept a little on the line, but on the big end we were there, and that's all that matters. Thank you.
Let's go to Chris Chapman with Equalizer driver Greg Holbrook.
Greg, it looked like that you had him off the line and then lost it at the end.
Yeah, it wouldn't go in the third gear. I put it up in drive, and it just wouldn't shift in the third.
So there were some problems with the Equalizer.
Yeah, the transmission must be going out again on us.
The Outlaw has been running superbly all night. He would figure to be a big favorite over Thunder Chicken in this quarterfinal round matchup. Mike Wine drives Outlaw out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. The Thunder Chicken pilot, Kid Rarick. He's from Catawissa, Pennsylvania. As expected, it's all Outlaw. Oh, sparks from underneath the Outlaw. That was in the area of the drive shaft. This could be big problems for the Outlaw, who has been running superbly tonight. Boy, Mike Wine has been looking so good, but watch the end of the run. He puts away Thunder Chicken very early, but look for sparks under the truck at the end of the run. There they are, right there. We're going to have to find out how big of a problem that is for Mike Wine's Outlaw, and we'll see if he can make it into the semifinal round, because he's earned his way there. And the semifinals are coming up next.